Hello and welcome to Some of My Friends Read Comics. We got Vince.
Does this mean you want to sleep with Spider-Man?
We've got Chris.
I'll find you, Mr. Pocket.
What? I'm Kia. Hi, welcome to the show. Today we're reading Hawkeye. I didn't recognize Chris's quote. Vince's, I definitely, those are a Hawkeye quote. I remember. What was your quote, Chris?
It's from Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It's
Wait a minute.
There's an old prospector who finds a very good place to. He's trying to find the perfect place, the pocket of gold ore.
Okay, now we've never explicitly stated that there's any rules or anything for how we start this show, but I thought it had to be lines from the comics. You really got me there.
It's a connective tissue thought. I'm with
it. It is. It can be anything.
Kia, I'm gonna have the James Franco meme and say first time, huh?
Yeah, I think so. It's actually my first time hearing that James Franco had a meme. I didn't know. Good for him.
It's from Ballad of Buster Scruggs, right? It's the person being hung when he looks at the other person being hung, and he goes like, "First."
What is the Ballad of Buster? Okay, we got to get on topic here. We are talking about Hawkeye. It's the reboot Hawkeye from when did this come out? 2012,
I want to say.
12? Yeah.
It was the reboot by Matt Fraction with a few different artists who we'll talk about as we go into this. But this was after he had kind of died and come back as Ronin the Ninja for a little while. And while he was doing that, there was Kate Bishop who started being Hawkeye. But now Clint is back alive again, and he's doing his bow stuff. So, this is kind of, I guess, setting all that up here. We've got, I would say Kate Bishop is almost as, she's a pretty main character in all this, even though Clint is the main character. Kate's the second main character, so we'll talk about her.
Yeah, she's all on the, there's a Hawkeye Disney Plus show that starts the same day that this episode comes out. And it's Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and Pizza Dog are all on the cover of all the promotional material.
Pizza Dog, everybody
it's
loves
played by
Pizza
Haley
Dog.
Steinfeld, who was in True Grit from the Coen
True
Brothers.
Grit from the Coen Brothers.
Another Western Coen Brothers.
She could have landed a better role than Pizza Dog. Okay, we're also going to read Scrooge McDuck. We're, of course, continuing that. We're going to get to issue number 8 there at the end. We're reading volume 1. It's titled My Life as a Weapon. It includes the first 5 issues, and it also includes an issue of Young Avengers Presents number 6, which focuses on Kate Bishop. These are all written by Matt Fraction. Artist for the first 3 is David Aja. I think he's the main artist for the whole series, right? Then we had a couple of there's a fill-in artist, Javier Pulido, who I also really liked as well, and then Alan Davis did the Young Avengers issue here. I guess let's just jump into it. There's a nice introduction in Hawkeye number 1, where it just kind of says, hey, this dude was in the Avengers, but you don't really need to know anything going into the story. That's it. Which is I always appreciate when a writer at least acknowledges that, this is what you need to know. We're good.
I do like the recap issues are this is all pointless filler text. You don't need to know anything for multiple issues.
It's pretty good. He's been fighting some random supervillain at the beginning, talking about how he doesn't actually have any powers or whatever, and they've all got something. And he takes this pretty bad fall onto a car, breaks a lot of stuff, and he ends up in the hospital for 6 weeks. On his way out of the hospital, he kicks his wheelchair into the street. What an asshole! He gets called out on it too by the
it's setting it up as look at how cool he is, and dude, that's insurance money, it's property of the hospital. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, sorry, man.
Bill me. Yeah. But we do have some time skipping business going on at the beginning here as well.
This is the Jimmy Olsen writer, right?
Yes.
Oh, this damn Matt Fraction. He loves time stuff. He's at the hospital with this, I guess it's a vet, with this dog that's dying, but we don't really know what's going on with it. He does say it's not my dog, but at one point the doctor's like, oh man, it's going to cost a lot of money here. You're going to be better off just putting this dog down. Even after all this operation, we don't think he's going to survive. And Hawkeye says, we got to do this. We got to save this dog. I don't know why. This dog must be important. But meanwhile, Clint is heading back to his home. He lives in like Bed-Stuy, in a pretty shitty little apartment where his neighbors are getting kicked out because this Russian landlord is tripling their rent. Seems like a bad situation. I feel like that is also like a good hero can always it's become the new save the cat, you know? It's the help struggling tenants with their landlords.
Yeah,
that's the new pick.
I feel like wasn't this also covered in like Green Lantern and Green Arrow? I think was like the first issue was a similar like skeezy landlord situation. It's a good way to like be like, you know, actually helping real people, not just punching whiz pow stuff. And I like it. I mean, I think it kind of sets the tone for like where, you know, Hawkeye is. He's kind of like just like a more of a man of the people. It's not going to be, you know, just punching people with, you know, fancy arrows. I don't even know if he has a fancy arrow in this issue.
Not in the first issue.
No, we do. I guess it's a little bit of a plot point in the second issue. But there's some roof parties with the neighbors. That happens multiple times throughout these issues, which is always nice. I feel like they just live on the roof. You see them there more than
they're good community. I think they do show up like in the Pizza Dog issue, which we covered years ago that won best single issue. But yeah, he's having fun. He's like using his tricks to like knock over beer bottles, like because he can throw like bullseye or any type of powers. He can, you know, hit anything from any target. So it's a lot of fun.
And you know, he's talking about like, boy, it's, you know, the pain of moving and everything. You know, the money's one thing, and one of the other neighbors was like, yeah, but money's still a pretty big deal. So he realizes there's a way he can help out. He goes to where the Russians have like a secret gambling ring or something, and he's got this duffel bag full of money. First, he feeds pizza dogs some pizza. They've got a dog out front there, and this is our first introduction. I guess our first introduction to Pizza Dog was when he was dying in those other panels. But in the timeline, this would be our first introduction to Pizza Dog.
This is an interesting choice because a lot of this book feels like Hawkeye wants to be like Hawkeye's down on his luck, you know, like a Peter Parker, normal schmoes type, except he has millions of dollars of cash accessible to him at any given time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It's a weird choice, but I like it. So.
Yeah. And he flashes the money and says, I'm heading in. And they're like, yeah, fine. He's going to offer to pay for the whole building's rent. And he's like, hey, you know, I might as well put this Avengers money to good use, which is that really putting it to good use? Like, you're just giving money to somebody who really doesn't deserve it and is doing bad things to get it.
But I mean, how many people live in one of those types of buildings? I mean, he's basically just bought the entire rent for years for a bunch of people.
But then this asshole has all the money. Like, that's not real rent. He was just like artificially inflating it.
Yeah, but he's no longer a problem. Kia, how would you feel if Hawkeye bought all the rent for your building for the next 20 years?
I mean, my landlord's pretty good. I like it, and so I think it'd be an okay situation. Yeah,
everybody'd win. Your landlord would win. Okay.
Everybody would win. I would be okay with that. But not this asshole. This Russian guy. All right, we haven't dwelled on him enough. I think this Russian guy sucks. He calls everybody bro.
That's it.
That's really.
Full stop.
That's it. That's his defining characteristic.
He sucks. He calls everybody bro. Anything else wrong with him? No, just the bro.
No, but that's it. But it's a big thing. He does it. It's like the beginning and end of every single sentence that he says. It's too much. But he's like, no, we're not gonna take that money. What if we're trying to clear the place out to, you know, because we got a buyer or something? And they start a fight, and of course they start a fight. Which also, if they have a buyer, why wouldn't they kick everybody out?
I don't know how. I don't know how.
I don't know. Works. Look, I don't know. Chris, is there any legal? Some legal stuff did come up. Would a landlord be allowed to triple your rent, just like out of the blue like that?
I don't know enough about New York state law to tell you. I know a lot of rent control places. Yeah, rent control places is generally not allowed to triple your rent, but I have no idea what New York state law is.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to look this up.
What is rent control? I've always heard about this. They basically can't up your rent more at all, or like by a certain percentage each year. Is that
it's like by a certain percentage? That's how mine is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like by like a cost of living adjustment, they can raise it by like 5% a year max or something like that.
It's something like that.
Like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but apparently not in this Russian guy's deal, not rent controlled. But yeah, they start a little fight. Eventually, Hawkeye gets like thrown out, or he ran outside. The dog helps him though because he gave him pizza. Isn't that nice? Unexpected. But then like this jerk just throws him into traffic, and this is how he got hurt. And so, but Hawkeye was able to like at least save him a little bit. He
wasn't fully hit by the car or something.
Yeah, he threw something that distracted one of the drivers or something like that. Anyways, the dog is okay. He's going to be fine. The Russian landlord then tracks him down to the vet, but it's not really much of a fight. It's over quick. He says, "Hey, I'm going to buy the building as well. Building's fine." And so I think actually that turned it into being good, because now it's like, okay, now nobody is beholden to this guy ever again for this building. And he puts him in a cab and sends him to the airport. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal was there. Is he getting deported?
I guess he's going to take a flight back to somewhere. I don't know.
You can't live here anymore.
Yeah, because it's Clint's building. You don't have to go home, but you can't live here. Yep. And they find out what the dog's name is. Dog's name is Arrow. Blah. He's like, I'm gonna change that. I don't like that. Pretty good first issue. No Kate Bishop in this issue though.
No, but I think it's a good it's a good way to. It's a pretty jam-packed story. Yeah. And two, I think it is a pretty good indication of where this book is gonna go. I mean, Kate Bishop isn't there, but it's like it's gonna be very ground level for Hawkeye, not all of spy shenanigans or anything like that. It's not gonna be like the Black Widow book we read. I don't know what a Hawkeye solo book even would be, because I'm like, I feel like
when we get to 4 and 5, those were a little bit
right.
Of like a spy.
I guess that's true. We'll get to that. But I'm kind of like, what would a Hawkeye book be like before this? I'm like, I don't know if he's ever in his costume either. At least for these issues, he's not. But I'm like, I don't really want to read a Hawkeye book. I'd only read it because of Matt Fraction. I like David Aja from their Iron Fist run. That's the only reason I'd read this. And I think this is a good, this is what it's going to be like. And okay, this is in good hands. This is okay. This is a good tone.
They are very one and done kind of stories as well, I guess, as we go into number 2 and then 3 here. And I realized the fill-in artist for 4 and 5 is really the only one that is a 2-issue story here. So maybe these first 3 are the fill-in. I don't know. That can't be right. But yeah, let's jump right into issue number 2 here. Kate Bishop is over at his place, and they're hanging out and talking, just catching up on stuff. I like the time dilation here with Kate. She's saying that's cool, 1 letter at a time in each panel, and then Clint is going through the process of shooting an arrow in his head. This damn Matt Fraction just loves to mess with time.
And I love it. He continues his trend from the Jimmy Olsen, or I guess this is pre the Jimmy Olsen book we read a few months ago, but having newspaper headlines that are just silly. Because this one's Daily Bugle, everything awful. Oh God, somebody do something.
Somebody help.
It's funny. It always works for me. Good job, Matt Fraction.
Well, and then on the second page, there was actually stuff written in the article that you could read and made sense. But also there was another article that was just the creative team. And I thought that was pretty nice.
Do we need to explain who Kate Bishop is at all?
Oh, we probably should.
So there was a book called The Young Avengers, I would say mid 2000s, that actually was pretty darn good. I liked it a lot. Yeah. Everybody kind of had ties to the Avengers. But there was this rich socialite girl who was part of a terrorist attack in the first issue. And then she joined the team, rich socialite girl. Hawkeye was dead at the time. And she had some some arrow skills. And so she joined the Young Avengers because they helped stop the terrorist attack. And then, I guess Hawkeye was dead. Captain America's like, yo, I guess you can be Hawkeye. You can have his bow and arrow. It's cool. And that's
nice of him.
Yeah. She's a fun character, though. She may be the only thing that really survives from the Young Avengers. I don't know if the other ones are really lingering around.
Maybe, I feel like Hulkling and Wiccan are still around.
They're definitely on my Marvel Unlimited now that you say it on the front page of that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some digital comic or something, so I guess so.
Okay, all right, good for them. Yeah, we'll learn more about the rest of the Young Avengers here, but Kate Bishop is, she's basically just Hawkeye's friend here in this issue. And
she says she's 9, but it's clearly a joke. She's not 9. She's got to be. She's got to be a late teenager, I would imagine.
Something like that, yeah. We have. I like that Clint in all this is talking a lot about his roots in the circus and like the vagabond code.
It really is stupid. It really works for me though.
It does really work for me as well. I like Carney Hawkeye.
I think this book also does a really great job of doing like layering in all of Hawkeye's weird background stories to like I guess show like old fans, but also like new people. Like this is Hawkeye's whole past. Like I used to be a carny. I used to be a villain. Like all that is like layered in as facts. But you know, and this actually like informs like there's clearly a code. Like people are telling messages to other carnies. And I know this underground world. It's cool. It works. It's fun. It makes me feel like I'm part of a secret club.
Yeah. They go to the showing of a play called Whimsical by Cirque de Nuit. And it's going to be.
You mean Jerk de Soleil? Jerk de Soleil is what.
Jerk de Soleil.
That's what Kate Bishop. That's what Kate Bishop calls it. I love it.
But there's a lot of villains in the audience for this show that are very excited to see it. I don't know how this show got so much buzz here, because so they're at this show, and of course this is where Hawkeye can see like the way they're signaling to each other, and the way he's throwing, the sword guy is throwing his sword. I can tell he was trained by the swordsman who trained me, and he trained me to be a thief. These guys are thieves, and it's that damn carnival. What are they called?
The carnival,
of crime. The circus of crime.
Hell yeah.
Damn circus of crime. I was actually kind of excited to see that.
But they're also like robbing the Kingpin and the Owl, so like why should I care? Like this sounds good.
Yeah.
Good point.
How did they get enough buzz to get the Kingpin and the Owl and like all these other villains? Do they all have like that kind of taste?
It's a hot show. It's just like remember when the cast of Hamilton robbed the vice president? It's just like that.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a great story. I like that. I mean, but they must have a network because Kingpin and Madame Mask also show up for that auction in like issue 4 and 5 of this story.
Yeah.
So clearly they're in some type of bad guy network or some type of subreddit.
Yeah.
That's telling them
something like that.
It's telling them where all the hot events are.
Or maybe not even. It's not even that hot. They just like to hang out together. They're genuinely friends, but they don't like to show it too much. They're just like, this is how they hang out.
Madame Mask is like, "What are you doing this Saturday?" Well, I'm going to this Cirque de Nuit thing. Oh, that sounds dope. I'm gonna go too.
Yeah, I'll go. I might not. I don't really care. I'm just gonna hang out. So what else do we have here? Yeah, the show's all thieves. Of course, we get in a big fight. Kate gets in a fight with like the main lady and takes her clothes for a little while, right? Or she's gonna dress up as her. Or
that's a Kate move. Kate does that a few times.
Yeah, she does that a few times.
Again.
They steal all the money from the robbers, and they steal the boat from them as well. And now all the bad guys know that Clint Barton has their stolen money, and they never really like follow up on this, do they? They're just like mad at him. And then Hawkeye asks Kate that they should work together because he does not want to sleep with her. That was one of his reasons. That's the one she remembered the most as well. But I think it's a good reason to want to be partners with somebody, not want to sleep with them.
I do like that they're putting that out there. Like, I mean, like she is a teenager and he's a grown-ass man. There's not going to be any romantic tension here between these two characters. Don't even expect it. They need to state that. We don't need any shipping. That's gross. Because he wants to sleep with adults. He's like, that's why you want to sleep with Spider-Man then, maybe? And that's good.
Oh, yeah. That is good.
This is right after, 2 years after his ex-wife came back from the dead she'd been dead for 25 years in our time.
In Mockingbird? Was that Mockingbird? She came back in Secret Invasion?
Mockingbird came back in Secret Invasion, and they sort of dated a little bit and then didn't get back together.
A comic that notoriously a lot of the internet really loves and our podcast historically does not.
What, Secret Invasion?
Yeah.
People like that?
Everybody's fucking excited. They're making a Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn TV show of it. They just announced it.
I mean, it could be adapted into something good, but the comic, oh boy.
I don't think I read it.
It's not good. It's real bad.
It stinks. It's
maybe the
pacing of it is truly a Bendis special.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cover it because we'll incur the internet's wrath, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, our many listeners who love Bendis that haven't heard my opinions about
it. Yeah, I believe we earmarked Fear Itself by Matt Fraction for our April Fool's Day event.
Another bad one.
Another Matt Fraction book. I hope there's lots of time jumping. Okay, back to this book though. We're on to issue number 3. Clint is labeling all of his arrows because he's like, I should know what these are. we see like the net arrow and the boomerang arrow, which she makes fun of. Why do you need a boomerang arrow?
I love his answer too. His answer is because boomerang.
The boomerang.
Yeah. I do like this because he's embracing like his like silliness, but also like there's a practicality. Like I don't know which of these are, so he's got to label them, but he's also like, because it's fucking rad. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Like a net arrow is fucking rad.
Yeah. Just playing.
I hope these are in the TV show. I don't think Hawkeye had like funny arrows in the MCU, and I don't even know if Jeremy Renner's like capable of that. But
I feel like he just shot regular arrows. Yeah, the only comedy I even remember him being associated with was that The Unusuals.
He was in Tag, but he wasn't the funny one. It was the fact that he was self-serious.
The Unusuals was like a comedy police procedural with him and what's her name from Joan of Arcadia that David Cross married.
Oh, the girl from 2.5 Men, because she was a woman, so they clearly claimed she was the half man because she was a lesbian. Yeah, poor her. What is her name?
Wait, I thought 2.5 Men was was a kid. Was the other?
Yeah, the kid left, and then she got cast and she showed up as a lesbian, and so that's why she was the half man when Ashton Kutcher joined the show. Yeah, It's a whole mess.
Ashton Kutcher joined? Okay,
yeah, after they killed Charlie
Sheen. No. We're not doing this. All right, back to the issue.
I knew that part.
So they go to the store so they can get some tape to label these arrows, but they're out of tape at the store. Damn it. And he hits on like a beautiful girl who has a real beautiful car that he likes, and we see that this whole deal is going to end in a car chase. But this, like I said, this is just lots of time jumping. Also, in every issue, Clint says, what does he say? This looks really bad or something like that. Yeah, it usually does look bad. How's he going to get out of this one? But Clint decides, hey, he's going to buy this car from this lady who is very willing to sell it to him on the spot.
Right.
But they also have sex. Yeah. And then he also drives her. She also drives him to like the bank to get money and to the office supply store to get tape. That was before they slept together. Yeah. But then like she's getting out of town because she must be in some kind of trouble. And then some people bust in and knock Clint out and they kidnap her and they take the car. But Clint's gear is still in the car and he's got a tracker arrow in there too. Good thing he's got that. Yeah. The whole back half of this issue, though, was a whole car action sequence that I thought this was a really good car action sequence. I don't know of a better one that I can really remember reading, but just in terms of how it was organized. And
there's so many great panels of him like hanging off an arrow that's stuck through the car, like while the cars are moving. Just really great panels of the week here. David Aja really draws the shit out of this book.
And it just the way he structures everything, it works really, really well. But the fight ends with Clint being held at gunpoint by the Russian. Oh, we didn't mention it's this Russian guy again. He becomes like a little bit of a recurring villain. Maybe not. Maybe this is the last issue. Okay. But we see Kate. She uses the boomerang arrow. Bam. Boomerang arrow came back. That's what they call a callback, and it worked.
Yep. You gotta layer it in with a joke so people remember it, and then you bring it back as a major plot point.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's Kate Bishop's Herald.
So we can say goodbye to David Aja, at least for this arc that we're going to be covering here. Yeah. I think he's back. But one, art's fucking great. And two, I really love Matt Hollingsworth's coloring for this whole. He did a breakdown in the trade, which I don't have anymore. But every page only has 5 colors in it. And that he uses he'll use like Hawkeye's and then like the merging of that because the way colors touch next to each other, sometimes they look like different colors. But like the girl's hair is the same color as the car, and Hawkeye's hair is frequently like the background in other panels, or maybe like somebody's stripe on their coat. So it gives us like this really cool because there's no like shading, digital coloring. It's only like I mean, it's digital, I guess, but there's only like 5 colors per page. So like Hawkeye's hair will be an explosion color also. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. I didn't notice it, but like until I'm flipping back through it, and then in the next few, there are a lot more color.
They break the rules when Javier Pulido starts drawing, but it's really cool. It's a really cool. He had like a whole breakdown in the trade of like, this is my coloring technique. It may not be this trade, it may be the next trade. I'm not sure, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Yeah, and it gives it a very like throwback kind of look. That's a lot of fun.
So let's move on to the next 2 issues here, 4 and 5, with David Pulido. You said
Javier Pulido.
Javier, sorry, who's David Pulido?
I don't know. I mean, I looked at this and I immediately saw these eyes, and I'm like, this looks like Marcus Martin or Javier Pulido, who frequently work together.
The eyes look very distinct.
I don't know what else we've covered of his, but I'm sure. I think he did one of the year 1 books we covered. Maybe Batgirl year 1.
Yeah. I like it. I feel like it's really good overall, except sometimes the close-up faces look a little off. But everything else about him is great. It reminds me a little bit of like the Batman animated series guys. What's their
sure. Bruce Timm.
But yeah, there we go. Very Bruce Timm, kind of like Darwin Cookie, but like, you know, a little more modern than those guys. Martin has got the exact same thing. I think they're bros and they're not brothers, but they work together. And he did Robin year 1 is what we covered. And like Human Target, I know, and some Amazing Spider-Man, and maybe She-Hulk. I'm not sure if the She-Hulk we covered, but he's a real fun artist. So number 4 opens with another rooftop party. Everybody's hanging out. Kate asks him if he's ever killed somebody, and he says no, but it's a little bit of a dodgy answer, I think. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. comes and picks him up, just like out of the blue. And they're letting him know that the tape got out. The Operation Eucritta, which is spelled Eucritta. A weird name for an operation. It's not important. I don't know why I'm spelling it out. But,
I really like spy stuff when they just like, it's the tape, and this what it's like what tape? We don't even know. We're not going to tell you.
We don't know yet. We'll find out as we go through. I was like, what is this tape? What's so important about it?
Yeah, it's just an extra added mystery, but it somehow really works for me.
And it's going to be auctioned off in Madripoor in 3 days. And if this thing gets into the wrong hands, Clint is going to be in trouble. And so Clint's like, I gotta get away. I'm on the lam. Kate, he takes like a bow that Kate has never even seen before. And he's like, yeah, you want to distance yourself from the Hawkeye brand as much as possible right now. Just don't follow me. He takes a flight to Madripoor, instantly gets picked up at the airport. But they take him to some back room, which is perfect because then he can just beat him up and get away. I like that. I like these moments. This is where it started to feel like a little bit of that spy kind of Scarlet Witchy. Not Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah.
I could absolutely see this being a Black Widow story. As much as I said, like, this isn't like Black Widow. This is a Black Widow story.
You could really swap them in. So he's in a cab, and then he takes a nap in a cab, which is a bad idea. And
I wonder if he got gassed. I heard people used to do that, like in trains and stuff. Like be careful on certain trains because they might gas your train car, and then they'll steal your wallets. I don't know what the hell. That probably sounds like bullshit now that I'm saying it aloud. But I remember being terrified of it when I was in Europe. Like never.
Always stand next to the vents.
I was told that if Romani offer you any babies, don't take them. It's just a distraction to get your hands full.
So they kidnap they don't kidnap. They steal his IDs, his Avenger cards, his cash, all that. He's still got his passport, thankfully, and he has his black Amex, his S.H.I.E.L.D. credit card. And then this is weird. He then becomes a cabbie for a little while, and then he parties for a little bit with some people, and he like goes to a casino. I don't know why any of this is happening, but I guess he's just like, looking for information or something, trying to figure out what to do. Gets picked up at the casino by some goons who work for Madame Mask. Have we ever read anything with Madame Mask in it?
Ooh,
I don't know.
Was she in the Black Widow book?
I don't think so.
No, she's definitely in the Matt Fraction Iron Man run. I know that.
Yeah, she shows up in it, but I don't think we've covered that, have we?
No. Well, all right.
She's
welcome
a very
to the show,
sexy
Madame
lady,
Mask.
but she's got like a burned face, right?
Yeah,
Whitney Frost.
Yeah.
But we do get a little bit of a reveal of what's on this tape. Clint says, it's an Avenger on tape committing the assassination of the world's most wanted criminal terrorist. Wow. So Madame Mask then, he's tied up and he's in a chair. Madame Mask takes his S.H.I.E.L.D. credit card, which is hidden in his crotch. So she's got to dig around for it. All right. And then they throw him into a room where he again falls asleep instantly, even though he's still tied to the chair. Maybe Clint's just really tired. I don't know. Also, the room is full of ninjas who are watching him while he sleeps. Okay, cool. Madame Mask, meanwhile, takes his card to this supervillain auction where everyone's hanging out, and she, everybody's bidding what is it, 1 million, 2 million, 2.5, 3, 4, and she's just like $1 billion, and cool. So she gets the tape.
You're right, Kia. They have given. I guess never mind. Well, this is a spoiler, I guess. But I don't know what our audience is learning this for the first time. We give a lot of money to terrorists and criminals in this book.
I was waiting with bated breath. You said I was right, and I was like, "What am I right about?" I'm waiting.
Let's give this slumlord $12 million. Let's give whoever.
Yeah.
This is
just
$1 billion.
Yeah,
it's just like the line in Casino Royale, where it's just well, congratulations, you just funded international terrorism.
All right, so then Hawkeye. So then Madame Mask goes back to her hotel room or whatever with the video, and she tells her goons to wait outside. And we learn that it's not Madame Mask at all; it's Kate, and she's got the video, and she watches the video. And she watches it in the second issue. But let's go straight into the second issue because Clint wakes up and he's in the room full of ninjas, and he's like, this is bad, and he jumps out the window, and he's still tied to a chair, I think. Kate is watching this video, and it's a video of Clint straight up murdering a dude by shooting arrows into his eyes. Oh my God. It's a dude named Du-K Fang. I've never heard of this guy before. Has he come up before in the Marvel Universe?
No, it's just some kind of
super some guy.
terrorist bad guy.
His name looks like Duke, though, with a little space in between the Du and the K.
Yeah. Du-K. Madame Mask's guards, meanwhile, Hawkeye's escaped up there, and so they're getting wise, and they come down in. And meanwhile, Clint is falling out of the window in the background, but Maria Hill flies in and saves him. Very nice. Good job, Maria. Meanwhile, Madame Mask has come to, and she's caught Kate. She's real mean. She says she's planning to put cigarette butts out on Kate's face.
That's some dark shit. Every now and then I'm like, I could take pain and torture, and then she says stuff like that. I'm like, maybe I couldn't.
But Clint shows up in the window to save her, and then the two of them kind of get away. They go to steal the tape, and they're talking about that for a little bit and how messed up it is. The Avengers, they've been lying and covering up this murder. What's going on? Like an assassination. And as they're getting away, they're getting in an elevator, and Madame Mask shoots Clint right in the chest, point blank. He's not dead. Don't worry. He had a vest or something on, but it's still
the book doesn't end with issue 5.
Nope. He wakes up at S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's okay, but yeah, he's hurt. And we learn that these tapes were fake tapes, that the real people who killed Du-K Fang were Navy SEALs, but they wanted to protect the identity of these SEALs. So S.H.I.E.L.D. made 3 different tapes, one with Hawkeye, one with Wolverine, and one with, did they say the other one? Captain America? Yeah. And they put these out in the wild to throw people off the scent. And then they purposefully let this one loose to be auctioned off so that they could generate buzz in it that this thing contains an Avenger to just throw the scent off of the Navy SEALs. But they actually made it with Avengers just in case it actually got out. It's weird. But we can rest assured that $1 billion did not go to anyone. I think it was just like a fake auction. But now I'm like, wait a minute. It's not until I recap this now that I'm like, Shield did a really good job of just getting a bunch of supervillains into one room together and have them tricked into thinking it was just like a fun auction thing for them.
But didn't do anything with them.
Didn't do anything with them.
I was gonna say, it's not like they arrested Madam Mask at the end of this.
Yeah. Come on, Shield.
This is also interesting. I'm noticing. I think is it Marcus Fury is in this issue?
Yeah, Sam Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Because they transitioned like the traditional Nick Fury to like his son Marcus Fury, to look like Sam Jackson, to look like the movies.
So stupid.
At some point, right? So, I guess
Yep.
that's happened by 2012.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's best not to think about the like broader continuity things going on at Marvel in 2012.
Yeah, isn't he like the cloned son of Nick Fury or something like that? Is that accurate?
Weird? It's weird. And then like original Nick Fury is like no longer. I mean, he exists, but like I guess I don't know. I mean, he might be dead. I don't know.
Doesn't he become like a Watcher or something very stupid?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't.
Fury
know.
is the Watcher?
Yeah,
I'd be okay.
Yeah, I thought Bucky became a Watcher at one point also, or he watched Sword or something. I don't know.
I mean, I thought he was dead.
But yeah,
everybody in the Cap books has had a turn being dead. Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Captain America, they all get a turn.
But I like how like I read this, and now that I'm rereading this for now the recording, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's not normal Nick Fury from that we read, like in the Captain America books like 5 years earlier than this. I guess that transition had made. I had it was that seamless to me that I'm still like, yep, that's Nick Fury. I got it.
That's the power of Samuel L. Jackson, man. I forgot to tell you, when I was on the plane home from Texas, I thought I saw Samuel L. Jackson sitting in the airport, and but he was like not. He was in front of a gate that was just like there was no action going on. It was like a quiet end of the airport, and I was like, all right, maybe the dude just wants to be like left alone or whatever, or maybe it's just some guy who looks like Samuel L. Jackson, right? And then I'm waiting at my gate to get in line, and they start paging at Samuel L. Jackson. Please come to this gate, and I'm like, oh shit!
Are you shitting me?
Samuel.
He was in San Antonio.
They really were. No, this was like wherever my flight was connecting.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, that's my Samuel L. Jackson story. How I didn't think I saw. Plus, everybody's wearing a mask. How did I know if it was really him? But turns out I'm really good at recognizing the top.
And they actually said Samuel L. Jackson said. Not Mr. Jackson.
They said it just like that. They said no. They did not say Mr. Jackson. Somebody was clearly very excited to say Samuel L. Jackson over the intercom and to say the whole name multiple times. Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson. There's a Capital One commercial shooting right now.
This guy, maybe that's what it was for. Maybe it was like some real guerrilla marketing.
I would love to be like the security guard and be like, Mr. Jackson, what's in your wallet?
All right, so let's jump to this Young Avengers issue that was also in this trade, although it does seem to take place like way early.
It was written like 4 years earlier. I think it was like written. Yeah. Basically, the Young Avengers, the writer got behind, and I can't remember why. Like they stopped with 12
the
issues.
people from the OC.
Yeah, he was an OC writer, and he had another show. He was briefly attached to the Wonder Woman movie, like in the late 2000s. Alan Heinberg, but
did he work on Heroes? Maybe it was some big show.
He worked on a lot of things, and all of his books got behind. And Young Avengers was good, and it ended up coming back and like finishing, but there was a point when they wouldn't, so they were just kind of put it on ice and let 6 different writer artist teams do like a single issue to like carry the characters. So like Ed Brubaker did one on Patriot, who was like the grandson of Isaiah Bradley, the original Captain America from Truth, who's also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So they covered Eli, I guess is his name. And then there's other issues about Wiccan and Hulkling and whatever. But the last issue was Kate Bishop Hawkeye.
Yeah, and we get an introduction of 4 characters here. At the beginning, there's Kate Bishop Hawkeye, Eli Bradley Patriot, Clint Barton Ronin, and Tommy Shepard Speed, who I've never heard of this kid before, and that is the worst superhero name of all time. Speed.
I mean, they to be fair, like they called Wiccan Asgardian for a little while, Asgardian, and people were like, that sounds too much like Asgardian, so you got to change that.
Sure, it's still a better word itself than Speed. Come on.
Because they were ostensibly the Young Avengers. We say we're going to cover this at one point, but hopefully spoilers, but whatever for 15-year-old comic. They were ostensibly the children of Scarlet Witch. Was Wiccan, and Speed is ostensibly her son Tommy, Billy and Tommy.
Oh, that was that one.
Yeah. Okay. Payoff of that story we read months and months ago.
Yeah.
Wait, was his name Speed in the original as well?
No.
Because they were babies that looked like grown-ups with baby bodies. Because
in the original Young Avengers, they called him Speed.
Yeah. They went through a few different names, but I don't think he ever changed names. He showed up as like a criminal, I want to say like in issue 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Looks like a criminal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Profiling Speed, huh?
It's the sneer on his face. He's got that criminal look. I don't know.
Maybe also be the panel that says, "Let's do some crime." That might also
maybe that's it. Yeah.
To me, he looks like Grant Morrison's Marvel Boy from like 2004 or whatever that was.
Does. Yeah. All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. The story is not about Speed. It's still about Kate, I promise. But she and Eli are they on a date? No, they're not on a date.
Eli thinks he's on a date, and she tells him multiple times we are not on a date. But and then somehow she's the bad guy, because 2008 be 2008.
It does seem to start like right in the action where she is telling her like, yeah, we shouldn't really be a thing, blah blah blah. Do you agree? But it does seem like there's something there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But Ronan stops to attack them.
Lets the horses I just read this and I'm like, they got attacked by some ninja villain. I'd already forgotten.
No.
How did you not recognize Ronan, the classic character?
Yeah, the classic character design.
He was even in the Avengers, the MCU.
He's in the most highest grossing film of all time, Avengers Endgame. I know.
Yeah. How did you not recognize him? But he instantly knocks out Patriot and then like test fights Kate for a little while, and then he gives her a card and is like, "Hey, come meet me here tomorrow." Kate does not tell Eli what happened, and he's like, "What was that?" But he's more concerned about like this being a not date, and kind of yells at her and storms off. The next day, the card leads her to this apartment building, and she like kind of stakes it out for a little while until she finally decides to go in, and it's the Avengers temporary headquarters, where Luke Cage and Spider-Man are playing some fighting game with a chainsaw.
My daughter Diana was very excited when I was reading this. She was in my lap. She's like, Spider-Man. And I guess Luke Cage was the head of the Avengers at this time. I read all this. This is when they lived in some building, and I even think Mary Jane and Spider-Man moved into the building. Although this may be Brand New Day now, so they may not.
I kind of remember that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this was after that, because this was around the time they made a third Avengers title, because they already had New Avengers.
And Mighty Avengers.
Yeah. And I think they made a third Avengers book to like start wrapping this crap up. Again, sorry to all the people who love Brian Michael Bendis' work on Avengers.
The Venn diagram of people who love Brian Michael Bendis' Avengers and listen to our podcast, I think, is not very overlapping. Zero. But if you love your comics, love your comics. Enjoy what you read. Don't let us tell you what not to.
But you're
right. This is good though. I enjoy this.
Is good.
It's okay.
Billy. Sorry, not Billy. What did I say? Hawkeye says. Clint says, "Hey, I know Captain America gave you my bow, but I'm not dead, so you're gonna have to give that back." And I don't know why he has to put stakes on him. He's like, "Hey, if I can make this impossible shot, then I'll win, and you have to give me my stuff back. But if not, then you get to keep my name and my stuff and all that." I don't know.
I love how this particular panel like fucking got me though, because she like, if I do the Robin Hood shot, which is where where in Robin Hood, I guess in the classic Errol Flynn ones, where they shoot an arrow through another arrow that's on the bullseye. And I'm thinking, like, they tested this on Mythbusters. It's fucking impossible because the wood grain, like, won't allow you to go straight through the wood. The wood grain will catch it, and the wood grain won't be straight, so it's going to, like, divert the arrow to go down. It's not going to be able to go, like, completely split it in half. Like, that's what Mythbusters found out. And I'm like, this is bullshit. This is not possible. And then they lampshade. It's like, I saw on Mythbusters. They can't do this. I'm like, God damn you, Kate Bishop. God damn you, Matt
Fraction. She acknowledged it, and
they lampshaded it. They got it. Yeah. They knew. Yeah. They knew their audience.
That's you. Me. There's an arrow
23-year-old me.
Yep.
There's an arrow pointing at Kate Bishop saying, "This is you, stupid."
So of course
she knows me. Kate Bishop knows me.
maybe Kate Bishop just is you. She watches Mythbusters.
We were probably the same age when she started.
Probably.
I get older. She stays the same age.
Jesus Christ! All right, so he makes the shot, and he's like, "Yep, give me your stuff." Billy, who was AKA Asgardian, who AKA has like he can turn invisible, whatever, like Loki powers.
Wiccan now, right?
Wiccan. He was invisible as backup for her, and he's been watching the whole time. And of course, the rest of the team finds out about it. And then Eli yells at her for losing her name.
I also love that Cassie Lang is dating Vision. I forgot that. Vision was briefly a teenager. What a time!
Yeah, sure.
What a time!
But then
that ended.
I think she died.
So she's up.
Oh yeah, she did die.
Oh no, so sad.
And Vision became an adult again. So
okay, good for him.
He moved on with his life.
Yeah, moved on. But Kate, meanwhile, goes and Speed asks her out on a date. So they're like, yeah, let's do it. And while they're on this date, she's like drinking and feeling a little tipsy, and decides that they're gonna. She mentions, or I guess this is Tommy's idea, but they go break into Avengers headquarters to steal her stuff back. It's pretty exciting. She kisses him because of that rush of stealing stuff, I guess. They almost get caught by Luke and Clint coming home. And it's a pretty nice scene. Clint is just like saying a bunch of nice things about her and the Young Avengers, and she overhears it, and he smells her perfume, and it's like, okay, yeah, I know she's here, and ends up this was a really nice moment when she sees a picture of his original Avengers team, not the original, but after Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver join. She really enjoyed it, so he gave it to her as a present along with the bow, and it's a really nice little scene. Then she goes back home and she kisses Eli. Oh, how sweet! She does like him. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I thought that part was lame.
Yeah, it was pretty lame. But I think they were trying to get a lot covered in one issue. It was just like a one and done. So yeah, but we'll know that going forward into whatever next story they have.
But I do love that. I mean, it was written by Matt Fraction, 4 years before this Hawkeye run, and recognizes both Clint and Kate's relationship, and then that kind of carries over. I don't think thematically, but not really plot point wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it is cool that he actually made a concerted effort to I'm not going to let this character just go into limbo. Like so many Marvel characters that get created, like the Avengers Academy or the
Avengers Initiative. Was that what they were called that you liked?
Yeah. All those characters that got created for Avengers the Initiative and then Avengers Academy back to back, and then just completely forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean it's hard with these teen teams to have them carry over when the legacy heroes don't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, again, it's a tangent, but I remember when Firestar joined the Avengers, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." But then, Firestar is always Spider-Man's age, and Captain America and Iron Man and all those people never go away. So,
yeah,
there's not really a place to put Firestar anywhere.
Right, which is interesting because the Marvel movies are kind of doing that transition. I don't know how it's going to work, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, it's the reality of you only have 15 years.
Yeah.
Although Hugh Jackman's been doing it for what, 18 years?
But I mean when they cast
they cast
all these people at 35 and when they do these movies for 15, 20 years, they're 55 at the end and don't want I think Chris Evans didn't want to be super buff anymore. It's a tough regimen. To work out all the fucking time. So I get it. I'm I don't want to do this. I'm good.
Yeah.
Just wear a muscle suit. No one will know.
How will they know?
They can CGI it these days.
Yeah.
Just wear an untucked shirt like Bruce Willis in Die Hard 4. It's fine.
Oh my god. Yeah, no one can tell that Bruce Willis has aged at all. It's perfectly smooth.
Yep. But that's it for this volume of a Hawkeye. I have a feeling we'll come back and read more of this at some point. It might be a fun one to come back to.
I liked it more this time than I did the first time. I think the praise was so high when it came out that this comic is the greatest comic ever, and I'm it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's not the greatest ever.
No,
but I do enjoy it.
Weirdly, I think later arcs start alternating Kate and Clint arcs. Like she gets like 3 issues, he gets 3 issues or something. I'm way more interested in Kate than I am in Clint.
Yeah.
I think she's a way more fun character. And I think that's going to carry over the Disney Plus show. Also,
very likely, based on who they cast and how wooden he's been as Hawkeye.
She's very likable. She was in Bumblebee and Pitch Perfect 2. I don't know why those are my. Again, the
Bumblebee.
Yeah, the Bumblebee movie
starring John Cena.
The Bumblebee movie.
Oh,
I didn't see him in that, but but that Bumblebee movie is supposed to be good. It's supposed to be just basic. I never saw it, but I heard it's really good. It's supposed to be like E.T. but with Bumblebee instead of E.T. and it works pretty well. So,
cool. All right. What else is there left to say about Hawkeye here? Chris, did you give your sort of overall thought? I feel like you were pretty quiet on this book in general, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't know that I have that much to say about it. I do think it's a solid sort of startup of like, this is the idea of what a Hawkeye, story is. Because I think, like Vince was saying, I think it's a tough sell if you just, said, hey, I want to do like a 12-issue Hawkeye series. People would be like, what is it? Like, who, like, do you want Captain America to guest star or Spider-Man? Because like, how are you going to sell this book? Because like, who's Hawkeye's? Like, I know who Hawkeye's greatest enemies are.
I don't.
But
I don't think this book tells me either.
No, I don't think it does. It's his brother, and then the guy Crossfire. What I would say are his two, and maybe Bullseye too, is like I would put as his top 3, like specific to Hawkeye antagonists. But it's like, nobody cares. Those guys aren't important.
Yep.
Crossfire is a great children's game whose jingle we remember. But that's about it.
Yeah.
I think it works really well. It's just like you introduce a supporting cast and sort of a theme of like, this is just a regular guy on his days off kind of thing, where he's a SHIELD agent, but also kind of a goober, which is, I think, a very fun, character. So it's a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. Well, I think with that, it is time for us to move on to Scrooge McDuck. It's Duck time. It's the life and times.
This was a really good issue, Scrooge McDuck.
Life continues to be a hurricane.
This was I think the best issue in a long time, maybe that we've read so far of this thing.
It's also a double length there compared to the other ones we've read recently.
I thought it felt long. It's so hard for me to tell when I'm reading this. But it's called The King of the Klondike. All right, so Scrooge has now taken a boat up north to Canada. He's been working in the coal section, what do you call that, the engine room of this boat.
Yeah, he's left Australia.
He left Australia. He's been the hardest working person, like shoveling coal to get this boat to go faster, because he is excited to get there because he's heard about gold. He's so excited getting off this boat, he knocks a dude's hat over. Dude turns out to be Wyatt Earp. He's like, hey, man, do you know who I am? And Scrooge whips out his dime on a string, and he says, do you know who I am? And, yeah, Scrooge has developed quite a reputation for himself at this point. This dude is, like, spouting off all of Scrooge's nicknames. And Wyatt offers to buy him a drink. He goes into this bar with him, loudly talks about, hey, this is my new partner, Scrooge McDuck. Get me a sarsaparilla for Scrooge McDuck. And there's this nobody that hears it and decides he's like going to make a name off of dueling with Scrooge. So he heads over to their table at the bar, and he's trying to duel with Scrooge. But Wyatt Earp keeps saying, no, it's actually me you want. And this was, I think, right off the bat, like, this was a really nice exchange between them. A really nice bit of comedy with Wyatt Earp, just like trying to wrestle this guy's gun to shoot him, while Scrooge is enjoying some free sandwiches that were at the bar and putting them all together into one giant sandwich.
And the Swiss cheese gets shot by bullets. I love it.
Shot, and he's mad because his free food got ruined. And the bartender is mad because they've shot up his whole place. It was like, hey, this guy, he kept yelling loudly about his partner, Scrooge, so you got to pay for half now. Which it's a really fun way to make. I like, of all the ways that Scrooge has like lost his money, this is a good way to do it. This is a good Metroid clear all the powers moment. But Scrooge needs money and fast.
Give us your hook shot, Scrooge.
Yeah. he goes to get a loan from what's this guy's name?
Soapy Slick.
Soapy Slick? Slick? Yeah. He's a pig. He kind of looks like a vampire pig. He's a very evil looking pig. But he loans Scrooge $100 in cash with a contract for 10% interest per year. And then, after Scrooge signs, it's like, there's no gold around here. No way he'll be able to pay it off. And then immediately, some dude sticks his head in the window and yells about how gold's been discovered in a particular area.
And also, Soapy Slick is like, we don't have any fine print. We just have an extra space so I can turn that 10% into 100%.
I like how cheated Soapy Slick feels by the fact that Scrooge might make some money and pay off the loan. He's like, no, this cannot fly. So he then proceeds to race Scrooge to the site where gold has been discovered since he's got some money. And Scrooge eventually kind of keeps up and passes him with his wilderness smarts. He makes a didgeridoo and he calls a moose that he then rides up. The pig guy opens a loan shark operation at a saloon, at Blackjack Saloon, where the owner is a lady duck named Goldie. And
I feel like she's a character definitely, I think, in the newish cartoon that's now over.
I have a feeling she's gonna come back. But she's drawn with a lot of eyelashes. That's how you know she's pretty.
That's how you know she's a sexy duck.
Yeah, this is the first sexy duck we've seen in this book, I think. Have we ever seen a sexier duck?
I don't think Scrooge's sisters were depicted as sexy ducks.
No, definitely not. But she seems to have the hots for Scrooge, but he, Scrooge, he's got a one-track mind. So I like the way she meets Scrooge, that there's a tired moose just hanging out in her saloon. And she's like, who left this guy here? And she goes to yell at Scrooge, hey, just come back and have a meal. And he says, I ate last week. Regular meals are for softies. He gets back to work. All right. So Scrooge, uses his knowledge of nature to find a pretty good spot for digging gold. And he starts just picking at it little by little for ages and ages. He's like,
that's what my quote was referencing, Kia.
What? Look, I don't know anything. Was it a movie? Because I don't know.
It was kind of a movie on Netflix.
You know better than to know. I don't know movies. I've never seen a single
movie from 3 or 4 years ago. I think 3 years ago.
Yeah, it came out in 6 parts or something. Yeah,
I haven't watched a movie in 5 years.
It's good. It's good. It's a Western, and there's a big part where Tom Watts is a prospector who's alone in this valley, and he's looking for the right spot to dig to know where gold is. And he's literally just by himself, and he's just has this whole method to find out where it is. And then of course when he does, immediately someone shows up to try to steal it from him.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty consistent with this book.
I think so. Yeah, the story is he's got this spot and he's finding little bits of gold dust that he's using to buy supplies and keep himself afloat with his loan.
And he's getting it from going through the nature, bears and wolves and moose, and just brushing their fur and yep, there's gold in here. The water, the water has to have gold.
And he, he's doing well. Everybody is constantly trying to find his spot, but he's really good at losing them and turning back. We see an example of this later when he's oh, I'm going to bed for the night, and walks into a hotel room that isn't his and goes out the window. This is also a real Black Widow issue from McDuck. So he is. He's little by little. Oh, it starts to snow, and he has to I like when he's haggling with the dude over bent nails. He's yeah, half price because his nails are bent. But he buys supplies to build himself a little cabin out there. And there's a bear who hates the hammering all night. He's dreaming of eating Scrooge. I thought that was going to come back. It never came back. But I like the scene of Scrooge just sitting on top of his home, enjoying the peaceful scenery, how beautiful nature is untouched. And he's screw that. We need to keep making progress. Exploitation, money, yeah. And he goes back into town. Oh, every time he goes back into town, it's also getting bigger and bigger because everyone else is also getting gold and getting richer. And I like that detail. This panel, though, was definitely my panel of the week, where he comes back and it's a mess. Everybody is fighting all over the place, but this is such a packed panel. I love it. I didn't even write down any of these details in. Do y'all know the one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's a good panel. There's just lots of, like, everybody is fighting. I don't know. We get him. He's finally, what's that?
Which I read in the last page of the the print run that I don't think was in the version y'all have. He says that that was Carl Barks says that was some authorial interpretation, because actually Alaska was like the lawless, crazy place. Canada was relatively kept it under control. So he's like, yeah, but I wanted it to be the place that Scrooge goes to. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they do come back to that a little bit. We'll mention that a little bit about how much better Canada is than Alaska. But he, Scrooge is finally confident enough to like put in a written claim for this place, which I don't really know how that works. I guess it's like he has to officially claim this is his spot.
Yeah,
sure.
But there's something weird about the claims, and I don't know what claim jumpers work, but I think it was explained in a few issues ago. So,
yeah, and now these people, like, they're still trying to like follow him and figure it out. And the pig guy, like, is onto him and like follows him one day and whacks him in the head. And they get him and they chain him up, and they're like making fun of him. And they're like, I didn't want to hang out in my saloon. Now he can't get away. Ah, ha, ha. And they're asking him where his Scottish skirt is, and they start reading his letters from home, and like, oh, he's a real mama's boy. And they read a letter where his dad tells him that his mom is dead, and they're like laughing at him, and they're playing sad music over it. And then just like Scrooge explodes with anger. I like how the next few panels are like, nobody knows exactly what happened. Some say it was structural damage, but he like ruins this guy's riverboat casino. Scrooge then delivers the pig guy and a bunch of files to the Mounties, who are scared of Scrooge. They're like, can you come back when we have reinforcements? But they're like, oh, great, thanks for capturing the Slick. And they deport him to Alaska, because that's where the criminals go. Alaska, not Canada, not allowed. Scrooge goes back to his spot, and he like throws rocks at these people to take it back. And he finds a giant gold goose egg in there with the rocks.
Yeah, because the rock is too heavy to throw.
Yeah, a giant gold goose egg. Wow.
If only it was like a square egg, it would be from the Incas.
I like this like panel thing where he's like, "Do I really want to be rich?" Then he looks at the camera. And then,
yeah.
Yes, I do. Because I was wondering, like, how does Scrooge get his money? Because he's been screwed every issue. So, like, this shows, like,
he really has.
Is this going to end with him finally getting rich? Because I don't know where this book is going.
Well,
I mean, I know he's going to get rich and have his money bin, but I don't know when. I don't know if it ends there or if it's going to have some money bins now.
So, Carl Barks in his afterward thing says that he considers this like the Shakespearean, this is like end of Act 3. Like this would be sort of the climax of like that, and that the rest is all falling action. So
Shakespeare, like, because like Joel Cohen's making a new Macbeth movie. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So this is he's gotten everything he thought he wanted at this point, and so the rest is going to be getting richer and richer, but also dealing with all the other stuff that changes his life.
More money, more problems, as they say.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good for nothing nephews, not leaving you alone.
Oh my God, those damn nephews. But this was a good one. It felt very different. The art in this one just felt like a step up. Mm-hmm. Not that it was bad or anything in the others, but like there was definitely a lot more weight to this issue. Just that scene of him exploding with rage. I thought that was
really good.
A really great panel. Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah. And the pig guy just being so like frightened of him, of like knowing what's coming. I think that was an art style that we just haven't seen in this book. Period. It was really cool. I was a little bit scared, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then he also said, again, this is just notes from the
Don
author.
Rosa. Yeah.
Yes. He also said that apparently in Europe, people didn't like the riverboat scene because American superheroes have sort of a stink on them, and they're like, yeah, this is just the Hulk. Like, this isn't what we like. We don't like our Duck comics to have like acts of super strength. He's like, I tried to make it seem like it was like this legendary retelling of what happened. You don't actually see him do anything.
I guess.
But
yeah, I mean, I guess I'm American. I'm like, this is like Donald's legendary anger, so I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, that's how I read it too. Is like, Donald doesn't necessarily have super strength, but he does just kind of like become, kind of crazy.
Yeah, so like the fact that his Uncle Scrooge would be the same way, it tracks for me. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that rage runs on the family for sure.
Right, and they've talked about his sister being like very angry with the ghost McDucks already.
Yeah. It's an angry streak. I wonder if we'll see more of that in the next few issues. So this was number 7.
8.
So we got 8. Oh, this was number 8?
Yeah, so I think we have 4 more issues of this. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right. So what else are we doing next time? We're reading Scrooge number 9, of course, and then we're going to read Edge of Spider-Verse. That was a series that came out before Spider-Verse itself. In 2014, and it was a 5-issue miniseries that I guess just kind of introduced a lot of the characters from Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Verse, the comic, I think has more in line with the Into the Spider-Verse movie that came out in 2019, 2018. But the new Spider-Man movie comes out next month. It just had a new trailer drop this week, which I feel like we've seen like 75% of the movie, but different spider villains from different Spider-Verses are coming into play. We've got Electro from the Andrew Garfield movies. We've got Alfred Molina, Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 from like 2004 is in the trailer. It's going to be a big old Spider-Verse mess, so I figured let's do some Spider-Verse stuff. And Edge of Spider-Verse is a bunch of single issues introducing. It's the first appearance of Spider-Gwen is in one of these, as well as I think it's a Spider-Man Noir issue. Even though Spider-Man Noir had already happened by this point.
Yeah, and there's like a Spider-Ham issue.
I don't know. Is there a Spider-Ham issue? I don't remember.
There's a robot Spider-Man. I think Gerard Way may have written an issue, but I could be wrong.
Maybe that's one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. There is the girl and her robot from the movie. I know they have an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it actually probably ties in more to Into the Spider-Verse than anything. It was the first appearance of a lot of these characters or recurring appearances, but. It should be fun. 5 one-offs. See different Spider stuff. I kind of want to do Spider-Verse later. I don't know if we'll do it later after that or sometime down the road. But Edge of Spider-Verse should be fun. Spider-Gwen, people love her.
Everybody loves Spider-Gwen.
Also played by Haley Steinfeld.
What? She's everywhere.
She's everywhere.
How does she do that?
I don't know.
Is that allowed?
She's very good. Michelle Yeoh played her second MCU character in Eternals, by the way. I noticed because she's also in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as a different character. She gets around too.
Wow.
Jeez. Shouldn't be allowed.
Not Eternals. She's in Shang-Chi. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Oh, that's another movie I should watch.
It's on Disney Plus. It's pretty fun. It's pretty darn fun.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for this, though. Yeah, look forward to that next time. What else is going on? I got nothing. Vince?
My video series on our All My Friends Are Right Here YouTube channel. That was a game. I just covered Rayman Arena, which is a foot racer. It's a racing game. Like it's got like zippers, like a Mario Kart, but it's a foot racer using 3D platforming on Rayman Arena. And it's pretty good. I enjoyed that game a lot. And also, I was recently on Games My Mom Found covering Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. The video game, not the movie.
Game.
Not the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, which Kimberly loves.
Yeah, okay movie. I think it's people shit on it more than they should.
Yeah,
but it's a great game.
Yeah.
Cool. Chris, what's up with you?
Your Stupid Minds has a new episode that is either coming out or is already out by the time you hear this. I will tell you what it is right now. I will spoil the episode for you right here. It is the Chuck Norris and dog comedy. Top Dog, where, as you would expect, Top Dog's original owner is murdered by white supremacist terrorists. So he has to work with Chuck Norris, to solve the mystery of who murdered his former partner and stop the terrorists from I don't know, having a terrorist event. The movie came out in April 1995 and apparently had to disavow the Oklahoma City bombing.
Wow.
Very, very unfortunate timing for this dog family movie that, again, made the baffling decision to have murders and white supremacist terrorists in it.
So the front cover of the poster says one's tough, one's smart. Which one's tough and which one's smart in Chuck Norris and Dog?
Yeah, the dog is supposed to be some kind of genius, but there is a scene where the captain with a grin on his face is looking at both of their files, and he's just like, it's uncanny. You have 100 arrests, he has 100 arrests. You have 5 disciplinary violations, he has 5 disciplinary violations. You've been shot, he's been shot. And Chuck Norris is like, who are you talking about? And he's like, this dog.
I think I've seen this movie.
It's very stupid.
It's directed by Aaron Norris.
Many movies.
Is that Chuck Norris's brother?
Oh, yeah, you know it.
All right.
Producer and director of several episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Hell yeah.
Wait a minute. It says here the screenplay was written by Ron Swanson.
That's correct. That's the guy's name. I don't know.
That's the guy's name. All right.
Another famed libertarian, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Well, have fun talking about that on Your Stupid Minds.
John Kerry's in that movie, but a different John Kerry, I assume.
Yeah, he's
sounds
a
great.
terrorist.
Your Stupid Minds. This sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Not a movie I would recommend you go out and watch yourself.
Nope. Well, very good. All right. I think that's it. Anything else we got to mention? No, we're done. Let's get out of here. Vince, I love you.
I love you too.
Chris, I love you.
Do I really want to answer this?
No. We're running out of ways. Oh, jeez. We're running out of ways for you to answer this, but I think you found it. You found another one. Good job. All right, everybody, and listeners, we love you too. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.